All right, Superman and Lois returns for another episode called Man of Steel. Oh man, is it going to be like a take on the Man of Steel film? No. Is it going to be a take on the miniseries by John Byrne? No. Actually, it's a bit of a little twist that no one saw coming. Some people suggesting that the show does has SJW bits because of the race-swapped Luthor character in it. No, that doesn't really hold. Look, I know everyone is shell-shocked at this point because there's so much of that garbage everywhere in every franchise and whatnot, so that when you see something similar to it, it's like, there it is again, the premise that it seemed to be presenting was, well, I'll get to why it's not entirely what it appeared, was that this was an alternate universe. He survived an alternate Earth destruction at the hands of what appeared to be an evil Superman. He was in the black suit and all that. And they'd already had a version of that in the Elseworld series and whatnot, where the Superman had gone wrong or what have you. And he's building up a story here that a similar thing is going to happen on the Earth proper here, as far as CW goes. And he was going by the name Captain Luthor, and that we'd seen scenes he'd been in the military. He worked with Sam Lane. We later discovered he was married to Lois Lane, and there's been stories about Luthor and Lois getting together and stuff in alternate realities and what have you. And so, okay, in this world he was black and they got together, and that's what you figured. Here we get more details in this story about Luthor, and he's not Luthor. No, he's using the Luthor name to utilize the technology. The AI that he's using is obviously a Luthor device, and appears to believe that he is Luthor, and that's how he's using. I guess when it figures out he's not, it won't work anymore. I don't know. But it turns out he's yet another DC character in this alternate universe version of him. John Henry Irons, yes. And in case you don't know, John Henry Irons is Steel, who's sort of like the, I guess, like the Iron Man of DC, if you will. Of course, this is a different take on him in a couple of ways. Obviously, this alternate universe version, which would make him an alternate universe version of Steel. That's not how his story began. In this story, it details that he was married to Lois Lane. That never happened, as far as I know of any comic book stories of John Henry Irons and Lois having anything. But he had a daughter with her, and Lois gets killed by Superman in the story, and right in front of, because she's reporting the story on the scene and reporting a story that they have to find kryptonite. It's the only way to fight off Superman. And then Superman kills her on camera. And so this sets John Henry Irons on his revenge mission, and he and his daughter developed the battle suit for him that we saw in the opening of Superman. And so it stands to reason, that's the Steel suit. And then here he's developed the hammer in this story. He lures Superman into a trap. He tells Lois they find out his real name, at the tail end, and it's like, oh geez. Oh, this is a twist I didn't see coming. And he lured Superman into a trap and used red sun lights on him to weaken him, and then attacks him with his super hammer. And he explains how it works and all that sort of stuff. So it appears, he used some of Lex Tech. I'm trying to remember, that might have been within the story as well in the comic books. The Steel came out of the Death of Superman storyline, where there were all these alternate Supermen trying to take his place. There was Connor Kent, who was the clone of Superman as the new Superboy. There was Eradicator, and then there was Steel, and then there was Cyborg Superman, who ended up being the big villain of them all. And then the real Superman showed up after he, resurrected. But that's how Steel came out. He was actually inspired by Superman and whatnot. Maybe they'll write that into the story, that initially, because they show a scene where Superman and what appears to be other Kryptonians destroying Metropolis. And he seems stunned by this. Why, and the daughter, why is Superman doing this? And he's like, I don't know, and so the whole thing becomes that the Earth has to go to war against Superman and other super people battling the world. And apparently they lost, and Luthor, or John Henry Irons now, is the only survivor, I guess. And now he's trying to prevent what he thinks will be the same outcome on the CW Earth, and that perhaps in his story will be that Superman wasn't always evil, that he turned that way, and he says Morgan Edge was a part of it. So it appears this plot that whatever Morgan Edge is up to and trying to create his army of humans with Kryptonian powers is what results in this. So I'm guessing that the evil Superman you saw had some of Morgan Edge's super soldiers with him. Can't call them super soldiers. Destroying the planet for whatever reason it was. They keep talking about the X-Kryptonite. I thought it was gold kryptonite, that it would take powers away. I thought it might have been a means or a temptation for Jordan to get rid of his powers. The other subplot is, of course, the kids, and Jordan is suffering because his super hearing has kicked in and he doesn't know how to control it. It's actually pretty good, and it is a bit of a nod to the Man of Steel film, in which we saw young Clark dealing with stuff like that. All his powers coming on at once, and he didn't know how to control it, and he freaks out. And so, and in this version, Clark says, yeah, it took me a couple of weeks to get used to that and to learn how to control it. And so Jordan has to do this as well, and it's tough for him. It hurts and all that sort of stuff. But he figures, hey, I'll focus on Sarah, the girl he likes. So he does, and then he finds her voice at high school. But she's having a sweet, nice conversation with his brother, and he gets all jealous. Then the brother finds out about this and is mad. You spied on me, and I'm trying to help you and cover up for you and all this stuff. But they come together because he hears that Super Dad is in trouble, and they race over there to deal with him. And they hit John Henry Irons with the truck, knocking him out. And then actually Jonathan uses the hammer as best he can to destroy the red lights. And there you go. Superman's about ready to beat the living crap out of John Henry Irons, but Lois says, no, it's okay. Everything's fine. It's over. So he doesn't. But you can understand why he would. So now John Henry Irons is locked up at Sam Lane's outfit. And we'll see where that goes. But now he's probably going to talk to Sam Lane and perhaps convince him to join him, as his alternate universe version did. So it's an interesting twist and turn and plot, and so the show continues to be good. The teenage soap opera stuff is, again, wisely kept at a minimum, and it doesn't interfere at all, and it weaves in and fits as to what happens and how the kids end up there. You understand why Lois is there and all that stuff, and you get all of that. The only downside, I guess, really here is boy, I tell you, that Fortress of Solitude is just weak. It's just a dumb ice cave. It's nothing really. So I don't know, did something happen during the Supergirl series where it got torn up or something, and where now it's just a cave? I don't know. I feel like they had touched that up a bit, and you could have in the background his other versions of Superman's outfit hanging, on mannequins or whatever, stuff like that, But anyway. So as for the X-Kryptonite, I'm not sure if that's a particular kryptonite they can use to recreate superpowers in humans, and perhaps that's what they're doing. Because I got off track. Sorry. It looked like gold kryptonite, but Luthor, John Henry Irons, actually opens the case, and they're sitting there, and Clark is right there, and he still has his powers. Nothing happened to him. So I don't know, and I'm wondering if perhaps the X-Kryptonite might have an effect on Superman like red kryptonite, and that turns him evil, and that might have been, red kryptonite can turn him into anything, but sometimes it could do something like that. Or that wasn't really Superman. The real Superman was dead, and that's the clone that Morgan Edge got, or what have you. I don't know. But it appears that the Morgan Edge plot to create a super army happened and ended up backfiring and destroying the world. And John Henry Irons escapes with some Luthor tech and his own modified tech, if you will, and comes to to our Earth. I mean, the CW Earth. And there you go. And so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I didn't get that because he has the suit and everything, but then so does Luthor in the comics. You know, he has a suit of armor to go up against Superman with. And so it stood to reason that there could be a Luthor who had a suit like that. But that's it. That's what he is. He's, you know, and I'm sure through the course of the story, perhaps they'll restore him to how he is, because he's not really a villain. He's just a broken man because he's lost everything to another version of Superman, but he's misjudging this Superman as being the same. And that's where he's going to have to learn that this isn't the same Superman, you know. And then, I don't know, they spin him off into his own series or whatever. Yeah, maybe. But it's a real complicated way of getting him there, you know, because his real story is he was in the same world as Superman, and, you know, everything was fine, and he became his own, you know, superhero and all that. But, you know, it's a little twist, didn't see coming. And again, it's still not clear. I mean, but the age of the boys, this is obviously ahead in time from the other CW shows, and I'm wondering when they'll address that. I hope it isn't just typical lazy slop job stupid crap that CW does. I mean, I'm sure by now you've seen the leaked script for Powerpuff Girls. Good God. Yeah, you would. I would have thought that was a script for a porn parody. But anyway, yeah, that's the kind of dumb stuff. It's astounding that this show is as good as it is. And really, it's just, you know, it's a basic show in a lot of ways, but in the current era, it's magnified by it, and it's kind of hard to understand how it happened at all. But anyway, still good, still going strong, and yeah, there's no race swapping in this show, not even multiverse. So. There we are. So Steel is now in Superman and Lois. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.